you're never too young to have your heart broken. Would you like to hear my from my deeply broken heart when I was about 16? What?
Yeah.
Well, I was at a really restrictive boarding school trying to get a third year of Latin and before I went to college. And I was separated from the love of my life.
High anxiety whenever you're near. High anxiety, it's you that I fear. My heart's afraid to fly. It's crashed before.
Welcome to the first ever Grandma-Grandson podcast.
This is my grandma.
This is my grandson.
Where we grapple with
the biggest problems of life, the universe and everything. The things that affect us all and the things that affect us both.
And the small things that don't matter in the slightest.
We do all this with 70 years between us.
And a bowl of very fresh cannabis.
From just down the street.
Welcome to High Anxiety.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
High anxiety, you win.
I could read you a poem I wrote from a boarding school that I was at that time when I had been separated from my love of my life. Would you like to hear?
Yeah.
All right. This is called...
Who was the love of your life?
Well, it was a high school senior.
What was his name?
And no, I really don't want to put his name on, even though I think he's dead. His first name was Mark.
I was going to guess like Saul or Morty.
No, those were not my types. Mark is more my type.
Mark.
It was beautiful, just beautiful, and the first man I ever touched.
Okay.
Touched, maybe. Whoever touched my heart. Okay. It's called Lines from Boarding School. Just promise not to laugh.
Of course not.
Because this is me then, and it's the me that I'm now, that grew up to me now.
That's true. It's the same. It says your name right on the top.
Right.
Drew Seminary, Carmel, New York.
Right.
That makes it sound like your name is Drew Seminary.
Yeah.
It's not a bad name for like a detective, maybe.
Drew is a famous guy.
Detective Drew Seminary on the case.
Yeah, he's the guy who loaded the sheep with water before he came to market.
Who?
The famous Drew, Daniel Drew. He was famous, and he founded Drew University in New Jersey, and he is famous for watering his cattle, sheep, I think, that they drove them down, walked them down, from upstate, and they got thin, and they didn't have to feed them. And then when they got near New York or wherever it is they sold them, they took them to the river and let them load up with water, and then they took them in to be weighed.
So you went to a post high school. You went to boarding school at a place named after a mutton cheat.
That's true.
That's...
But he did a lot of good things besides that.
Besides...
He did all these good things in education besides stealing from the people who bought his cattle.
Well, he certainly teaches people how to do math to their favor.
Yes, right. So would you like me to read this?
Of course.
But you got to promise not to laugh because at this point, I was very, very serious about
I
this.
would never.
And that's the same me that's here talking to you.
I won't laugh.
All right, be sure.
I won't.
All right, this is called Lines from a Boarding School. Do you want me to read it? Yes.
It's a great title as well.
Yes.
It's a very sort of stylish,
Barren, yeah.
very barren title. The title reflects
Tells you
Yeah.
what a terrible place that was. Life cannot be this silent thing I'm living as a silent child. Cannot be this empty patterned thing, severely styled. Love cannot be the force that bows my grace-bent head. Sleep cannot be those blank and dreamless hours in bed. Air that once startled me is now but habit to my lung. Words of the poet that is me are now unsung. Life is as far away as home, and in my heart I know that here I only will remain an aching part. That's a lot of feeling for a child, and not badly said.
Not badly said at all. You marked that on the quarter of 1935 to 1936.
Mm-hmm.
That was when you were in school.
There. Mm.
Do you feel that? Do you feel that it's any? How long did that last? How long? Did
I
you
went for a year.
How long did that last? That feeling.
Oh, this feeling. Months until most of my passion was to get the hell out of this place. It was so restricted, and a block to original thinking is all I can say. Also, I said more prayers and sang more hymns. That was the best part of it, was singing the hymns, because on every Sunday, every day we had Vespers. And then every Sunday we went to the church of our choice. And I mean, I usually picked the Methodist church because it was the least structured, and I wish I'd gone to the Catholic Church, but I didn't. And what I loved was the hymns, because you could write those hymns as you sang them, never heard them before, but you could make the rhymes. You could anticipate the rhyme.
Like what?
In the next let's see if I can think of trust. Da, da, da. Fast falls the eventide. Lord, with thee, what will rhyme? Abide. You knew, and that part of the fun was listening to the next rhyme come to
when you already knew it.
When didn't know it,
but you felt like you
felt
knew it.
felt.
You feel like the divine is giving you the clues.
And I've always remembered the hymns, as though I'm forgetting them at this moment, because
please cure us of our sneezes, Lord above and holy Jesus. Yeah,
right. That's very good.
That's how to write a hymn.
That's
Because you
right.
really get people on your side.
Yes, that's right. And but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hymn. I enjoyed there happened to be this very small town, Carmel, New York, and at that time had probably one of the least inspired parsons that you ever encountered. You could almost anticipate everything he said too, and it was a very, very dull hour that we spent on Sunday morning. But
You seem to be rolling that pipe up in your
oh, so
in your
I am.
childhood
So
poem.
I am. That's an interesting meeting of the ways. This is clearly the paper of the paper that it's done on, the typing. This is not a copy.
No.
This is the original thing that somehow or other has survived from 1935. I feel as though these were the crucial years of my life. 1935-36, and then 1937, I met Herbert the very end of the year.
You
No,
were
number
18.
36, yeah. 35, 36, yeah. No, at 1937, at the end of 1937, I guess I met him.
When you were 18.
So there was, and I don't think anything that, except for the war, had more effect. A lot of the writing that I've done since has included, one book was almost entirely about this school. It was a fiction, but it was based mostly on facts and real people. And I wrote four, I think, good short stories about my roommate there, who's an entirely repressed girl. But she said one thing, one of the truest things that has stayed with me all these years, and that was when we were looking for things, and she was quite she was made very uncomfortable by my level of neatness, which wasn't anything like hers. She would say to me impatiently, "Everything is somewhere."
That is profound.
I thought.
Did that turn out to be the case?
Well, I'm still looking for things, but I like to keep in mind that they're somewhere.
What was her name?
That was Dorothy. And in my story, she's Grace. Her name is Grace. And she had been in that school since she was a child. Since she was, in elementary school.
Did she know that she was written into your stories? Did she ever know that she had?
No, I don't think she did. No. And I didn't write her in for years and years after that. She was a very sad case of repressed person.
I got to give in.
Okay, well let's
My anxiety. And remember, folks, be good to your parents. They've been good to you. You win.
Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know. Dee, 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 dee. Dee, 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 dee. Dee, 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 dee. Dee, 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 dee. Dee, 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 dee. Dee, 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 dee. Dee, 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 dee. For whatever my man is, here I am his forevermore.